Look at Thursday morning, Alaska. We are expected to see the return to some cooler and wetter weather as we head into the next couple of days. In fact, today we're already beginning to see some of that widespread rain returning to parts of southwest Alaska. Let's go ahead and give you a live look outside. This is overlooking Eagle River. You can see those lower clouds continuing to build back into South Central. So we're going to see limited sunshine today, and this is really going to set the stage for the return to what's going to be some soaking rain across the region as we welcome in our Thursday evening on into your Friday. As far as what we're dealing with in terms of temperatures, July has actually been below average. Now, we did see the past couple of days with those temperatures staying above average, but for the month as a whole, we're sitting at about 1.5 degrees, roughly 1.5 degrees below where we should be for this time of year. While that has been the case for South Central, it's been a different story in the interior where we've been dealing with record to near record heat the past couple of days. In fact, today there will be parts of, as you head out towards the slope near Prudhoe Bay, Dead Horse, seeing the potential for some record highs later this afternoon. Going ahead and giving you a look at those active wildfires we continue to see across the state. Some improvement, but the past couple of days with those hot and dry conditions through the interior, certainly not good news when it comes to that wildfire activity. We're currently sitting at 157 active fires, 4 of which are new over the last 24 hours, and still seeing 5 staffed fires. Those are through the Yukon Flats, eastern parts of the interior, of course, out towards Denali National Park for that Riley wildfire as well. Those fires combined with that wildfire activity through Canada is actually leading to some hazy skies, which have been reported as far west as western Alaska, and southeast also seeing some of those hazy conditions. With more hot and dry weather expected today across southeast, we are going to see the potential for some additional thunderstorm development as well as some wildfire activity looking possible as we welcome in the afternoon hours. If we can, let's get past this data to show you what we're going to be talking about in terms of that smoke forecast that we've been dealing with across the interior. Southeast, even parts of South Central have actually begun to see some of those smoky skies, primarily impacting the Copper River Basin, eastern parts of Prince William Sound, and of course southeast and the interior holding on to some of those smoky to hazy conditions. But watch what happens as that rain has been building in across the state as we close out our Thursday, welcome in Friday. All of that smoke shifts to the east-southeast. So we're going to see some improving air quality for the interior. In fact, tomorrow, many areas through the interior could see temperatures about 20 to 30 degrees cooler than what we've been seeing for the past several days. So cooler and wetter weather is the trend across not only the interior, but the state as a whole. Waking up this morning, we are seeing those temperatures, 66 in Dead Horse, 54 in Bethel. The interior seeing temperatures in the mid to upper 60s, while coastal regions, or at least the southern coastline, seeing temperatures this morning in the 40s and the 50s. Overall, we're not expected to see much in the way of rain for South Central today. You can see that widespread activity is occurring out towards western and southwest Alaska, still seeing some lingering thunderstorm development through the interior as well, and that will likely reignite some additional thunderstorms later this afternoon. So all of that rain you're seeing for southwest Alaska will eventually spread eastward, affecting South Central, the interior, as well as southeast in the coming days. And we're going to be talking about widespread soaking rain. Now, again, today, largely on the drier side, mostly cloudy to overcast skies. We'll see some spotty to isolated showers into the evening hours, and then after about 6 to 7 p.m. we'll begin to see some of that heavier rain build in across South Central, and then that's going to set the stage for some soaking conditions as we welcome in your Friday. In fact, tomorrow would not be surprised if we saw a good majority of the day staying on the wetter side, and that will also mean temperatures are going to be significantly cooler. We'll likely see highs tomorrow staying in the mid-50s for many areas across South Central. So again, just some spot showers today for South Central as well as southeast. We will be watching for some additional thunderstorm development through the interior. Beyond today, thunderstorms should be in our rearview mirror for the time being into the interior as cooler weather is set to make a return. So there's that widespread activity out towards western southwest Alaska. That's eventually going to impact Kotzebue, the northwest Arctic borough, as well as the slope as we welcome in the Friday. So this system is all encompassing across much of Alaska. It's going to have effects from the slope through the interior here in South Central and Southeast. And speaking of that rain that we're going to see tomorrow, there is the potential with widespread all-day rain that we will see a third consecutive year of July being on the wet side. We're currently sitting at the 8th wettest July on record. And then as we close out tomorrow, I would not be surprised if we're sitting in the top 5 wettest as we have that potential for seeing up to an inch of rainfall as that rain builds in overnight into your Friday. And that's going to be some good news for areas that continue to deal with abnormally dry conditions from the Yukon Flats out towards the Alaska Range, parts of the Copper River Basin, western parts of the Kenai, and then you can see out towards the southern inner channels we do have a moderate drought that continues to build into the Panhandle, and we're going to continue to watch for some much needed rain for those areas, particularly out towards southeast, which have been holding on to those abnormally dry conditions for quite some time, dating back to the winter months with that snow depth or the lack of snowfall that parts of the Panhandle did see. So temperatures today expected to warm into the mid 60s across South Central. Looks like we're just showing looks like we might have these same graphics replaying, but again, that rain is going to stay with us into our Friday and then taper off Saturday morning. Good news if you like some sunshine. Saturday and Sunday will bring the return to some sun across South Central before we see more rain as we welcome in next week. And those precipitation chances really highlighting that. You can see that rain building in tonight, tapering off early Saturday morning. We'll see a brief break both Saturday and Sunday with best chance for rain this weekend staying near the coast. And then as we welcome in next week, that's where that rain begins to ramp back up across South Central. And the overall weather pattern as we close out July and welcome in August continues to be on the cooler and wetter side. In fact, we could be talking about highs in South Central as we welcome in August, staying in the mid to upper 50s. Today, though, we'll be seeing warm conditions, hot and dry through parts of the interior outside of that thunderstorm development. Record high, should Dead Horse hit 73, that will be a brand new record in the forecast. For Dead Horse. 50 in Ukqiavik, 60 in Nome. You can see the Aleutians sitting in the upper 50s, and then out towards southeast we'll see those temperatures sitting in the upper 50s to near 60 degrees as well. So that 7-day forecast, 65 today. Tomorrow we're holding at 61 right now, but with widespread rain looking to stick around for most of the day, I would not be surprised if we see many areas across South Central staying in the mid to upper 50s. So expect cool and wet conditions tomorrow. There's that sunshine returning into the weekend, and again, there is a chance for some rain this weekend, but it's primarily going to be for coastal regions, while inland locations see a mix of sun and clouds. And then as we flip the page into next week, you can see more rain looks likely. So we'll catch some breaks here and there, which is good news. Not looking like a widespread rain for the entire week, but we will catch some much needed break with those temperatures staying in the low to mid 60s, overnight lows in the 50s. So be prepared for that incoming rain as we welcome in your Friday. Again, you can already see those overcast skies beginning to build back into South Central. Those will continue to thicken up with a return to that rain as we welcome in your Friday. Of course, we'll have more on that coming up in the noon show as well as in the evening forecast. But as far as for the remainder of today, enjoy the drier weather before we do see that return to some rain, and make sure you have a good Thursday.